Didn't hold you for long, but I'll love you a lifetime. When dreams of hellos turn to millions of goodbyes, I never wanted to say, but I had to. I love all the ways that you catch my attention. Life charges forward, but I feel the tension that pulls me right back home to you. Through the darkest of nights, you are the light. Through the storms, you lead me to shore. So glad I'm your mama, so happy you're mine. Baby, you are the one I long for, and I'll love you evermore. Countless times I wish you were still with us, that I could kiss you and wrap you in big hugs. You're forever a part of me, my baby. How could a life so little change mine so much? The tenderness you brought, the hearts that you touched. I see your life still blooming. Through the darkest of nights, you are the light. Through the storm, you lead me to shore. So glad I'm your mama, so happy you're mine. Baby, you are the one I long for, and I'll love you There will be a day when I'll pull you in close. We'll laugh and we'll play and say I love you most. I'll hold your hand and you'll hear my heart again. 'Cause baby, till then I will love you evermore.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'm just kind of curious, how many of y'all have already cried to that song millions of times, and it's so beautiful? And how many of you have the stuffy and just love it so much? I just find myself rocking it to the melody. She says she's not a singer, but she's a beautiful singer. Can we give her a round of applause? Awesome, thank you so much. All right, so this is always the part where I'm like, I gotta follow that and try to make jokes? Dang. Okay, so if you haven't seen, we have all these little packets to wipe your tears and all of the things. Okay, I gotta take a moment. I was having my own little moment, and I looked out at all y'all's beautiful faces, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Let me not look at them. Okay, man, I knew that was coming. I still was not ready for that. Okay. As you'll know, Chelsea cries on the internet. We joke that she is a crier on the internet. I always like to say Jesus wept, so it's okay that we are all crying. Okay, so we're gonna say hi to our online friends today. We are so grateful that we are getting to do that. Oh my goodness, I'm shaking from the adrenaline of that song, you guys, and thank you for bearing with me. Okay, so we have our online community today, and as you see, this goes far beyond just who's able to be in this room, the 300 of y'all's lovely faces. So if everyone in person can hear, do me a favor, and we want to wave at the cameras that we have, to our online community. Hello, online community. Our board member, Kelsey, is so kindly running that online. And so we thank you, whether you're in dresses like us or pajamas. We hope you have your tissues there as well, because Lord knows you need them. All right, so we are so glad that you're all here. I hope you're having the best time. Like I said 10 million times, you all look so stunning. And we're just so appreciative that you traveled 5 minutes all the way up to 15 hours. It all matters, and we're just so grateful for you. And we want to thank Don McLear of 24 Frames Media for being here today and allowing us to welcome our online community. Can we put it up for Don? Thank you, guys. We're so appreciative. All right, so I did already say that Kelsey is hosting our live stream. So if you're watching online and you have any questions, Kelsey will be in there to pop in and have questions. And we're so glad we get to do that. It's so fun. All right, so when I knew that I was going to have to talk about this next, I was like, whew. This next person obviously needs no introduction. She is an Autumn. If you know, you know. She's a crier on the internet. We love that for her. She's a published author. She's one of my dearest friends. And I know you guys feel that too, because Chelsea has a way of making you and your babies feel seen. And all of this obviously is because of God, but from Chelsea being obedient. And she's a wonderful friend, a wonderful wife, and I think her most important title, she would say, is mom. And we're just so grateful for our founder and executive director. So Chelsea, can you come up here and cry with me? Look, y'all, this is terrible. And I have platform shoes on. Okay, Chelsea, this is not in the script, but I want you to take a moment and just soak this all in. All the details, all the worries. Look at all these beautiful women, and just I pray that you're getting to soak it in and having so much fun with us. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go for 400 next year.
Thank you, friend. Love you.
These are my tissues. And
Okay.
your
Okay.
tissues.
We can share tissues. It's fine.
I need this whole packet. I've seen that.
Oh. Wow. When we had our first Brunch and Blooms with 19 women in attendance, it felt like the most special day ever. And there are a few more here today, and it still feels like the most special day ever. And that's not because of how many of you are here, it's because of who is here. If you were at the first Brunch and Blooms, where are you at? There's one, there's two. KB, where are you at? There are people here that were at the first Brunch and Blooms. There are family members here, there are friends here, and there's a lot of you I've never met in my life, which is really cool. You guys are what makes this so special. So thank you for being here, thank you for supporting this mission. If you came today not really sure what Evermore is, someone drug you along for some charcuterie, welcome. And you don't know what Evermore is, the short version is we are a nonprofit that sends bouquets of flowers to moms who've experienced miscarriage. And the long version I'm going to get into. But we are here because of a lot of incredible people. And so before we get into all of that, please allow me some time to thank some really amazing friends that are here. First and foremost, the staff at this venue. The Atrium has donated this space to us. This is the 3rd year now. There is no other venue like this for this kind of event, and so we're so thankful. And then also my dearest Jenny, where are you at? Stand up. Stand up. I say it every year because it's true. There's no way on earth I could do this by myself. I would probably kill myself trying. I would fail miserably. Has she not completely outdone herself this year? Thank you, Jenny. So if you don't know, Jenny is an amazing event planner, so hire her for all your event needs. Okay, next, there's a few companies that have really partnered and come alongside us who believe in this mission, and we're so grateful. Flourish Wellness and Birth Co. Their ladies are here somewhere. I see you. Hi, friends. So I think it's funny because the mission of Flourish is to make like healthcare less intimidating, more enjoyable, more fun. And I feel like thanks to them, our raffle process was less intimidating, more enjoyable, more fun. So they're just well-rounded. So thank you to Flourish for sponsoring our raffle this year and allowing us to truly elevate this experience. Thank you, friends. What would Brunch and Blooms be without the flowers? Oh my goodness. So I thought it was kind of funny that Vernity, a car company, sponsored our flowers. But I was like, yeah, I love that. I love that you guys see the value. And I think around here, we think flowers are pretty special and pretty impactful. And so we're really grateful for their sponsorship. These flowers are insane. Jamie of Thistle and Dot Floral outdid herself again. So thank you to Vernity. Please put it up for them. The next sponsor really made a dream of ours come true. For years, we've asked the question of, man, what if Brunch and Blooms was free to attend? And then we looked at how much it costs to put this event on. We're like, there's no way unless we get a really great sponsor. So thanks to Salmon's Financial and their $16,000 sponsorship, we were able to welcome over 200 of you here for free. So thank you, Salmon's. At this time, Evermore Blooms team, can y'all make your beautiful way up here, please? Woo, woo, yeah. As they come up here, there's something you guys really need to know about this team. So a lot of nonprofits are more of an advisory board. They're giving advice, they're helping with fundraising, they're doing all the things, and that's great and that's wonderful. And this team does all of that, but they do so much more. So Evermore is structured as a working board, which is just a fancy name for saying we can't afford more employees, so these are it, okay? So these women contribute in endless ways, essentially donating, volunteering the equivalent of a part-time job on top of their jobs and families and lives. Is this everybody? We're missing people. Is this everybody? Okay, great. We're missing Kelsey. That's who I'm missing. Hi, Kelsey. Okay, so speaking of Kelsey, yes, so Kelsey Wagner, she is our board treasurer and secretary. She had her sweet rainbow baby a few months ago, so she wins award for best excuse ever to not come to Brunch and Blooms. It's fine. We love you, Kels. And I would love for all of you to kind of just say your name, your title, a little ditty of what you do. I'll start it off.
I'm Brittany. I am the vice president and the care coordinator. So I'm the one in the Facebook groups and the Instagram sending y'all all the memes and the posts and all the things. And I've been joking that I'm the personality hire, and y'all probably seen that today.
My name is Jordan Fegan. I'm the president of the board. I am the boutique coordinator. So if you've ever bought anything from the store, that came directly from me and from my heart, and all the notes are handwritten, and I appreciate every single order that you guys do, and it is so fun to see what you guys love and what you order, and it's really fun to kind of do it with Chelsea too, because Chelsea's the creative. She will not tell me I'm creative, but I'm not, but she says it out loud. I don't say it out loud.
I'm Emily. I'm the community coordinator, so I have helped with some of the fundraising initiatives and the platform that we used for this event for the tickets and raffle I've been working on as well.
I'm Sydney, and I am community outreach, and I'm new to the board.
I'm Tabitha Western, and I'm also new to the board and help with operations and financial reporting.
Hello, I am Brittany Paslick. I am also new to the board as a volunteer coordinator. So if anyone ever wants to help out with Evermore Blooms, come talk to me. I'll be the point person for volunteers moving forward, coordinating for all of the events to make things like this happen.
I'm Megan. I'm the programs coordinator. I help send care bags to clinics and research florists.
I am Kristen. I am the delivery coordinator. So if you've ever submitted a bouquet request, it comes to me. If you've ever gotten a bouquet, I am the facilitator behind that.
Y'all, as you heard by all the things they do, there's no possible way I could do this by myself. And so I'm here because of them. So I hope you guys all know how much I love you, how grateful I am for you. And this is your doing. This is yours too, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, friends. Love you. Jordan and Brittany. You can just stay right there. The front. Yeah, we're gonna cry now, guys. Let's just do it. Okay, I feel weird being on the different level. This is weird. Come here. Okay. Stick to the script. Jordan and Brittany have been on this team for almost 3 years, and their board terms are ending at the end of June. And that's a good thing because they need a break. They've earned a break. But so much of who we are and what we've been able to accomplish is thanks to the contributions of these two women. Brittany found us on Instagram shortly after we started, as she was mourning the loss of her baby, Rory. She was truly one of the moms from the get-go that I felt were doing this thing, and it's for moms like her. From day one, she has been our biggest cheerleader and my biggest cheerleader, and will forever hold the title of the OG Bloom Ambassador. Y'all remember the Bloom Ambassador? Yeah, that's Britt. We got to know each other through DMs, and before I knew it, I had myself a little pint-sized Texan bestie. Look at her. It was the best. Brittany has helped behind the scenes in developing so many incredible resources for miscarriage moms that were so needed. She's just our little worker bee behind the scenes, and it's been so helpful. I admire the way you serve this community with tenderness and love and truth, all while trusting God with your own story. It takes a really special heart, and you have the most special heart. I had no idea that a little Instagram account would bring me the blessing that is you, and I'm so grateful that God did know. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see what God has next for you. One down. Oh. Jordan and I met while working in a real estate office. She was the receptionist. I worked in marketing, how every good love story begins. And let's just say I was rocking that full-time job / part-time nonprofit founder hustle. And sometimes the nonprofit stuff just like snuck its way into my full-time job. It's fine, everything's fine. But we had just started the Evermore store at the time, and boxes of t-shirts would arrive at our job, and eventually Jordan's like, what are you doing? What is this? And before we knew it, Jordan was volunteering for Evermore. And since then, there's literally nothing you haven't done. She mentioned this the other day, and I kind of giggled because I already had it in my speech. There's nothing she has not done for this team, from researching florists, packaging items, dealing with my ridiculous perfectionism, like gold star. She has done everything. Running a million errands, shipping all the orders. More than any other person, and all of our team would admit this, you have done so much that cannot be measured, a million tasks that no one ever saw. You've done it all. Hours and hours and hours and hours of time over the past 3 years. Thank you for cheering me on at my best, sticking by me at my worst, because she's seen it, y'all. She's seen it. You have set the bar so high for what it means to serve on this team, and you're irreplaceable, and I love you. Of course, the gift giver in me does have extra presents for you. We'll go over them later. They're full of inside jokes. None of y'all will get it, but okay, I love you. I love you. Okay, you can go sit down now. Thank you, love you. Okay, the tears aren't gonna stop, so just hang on, y'all. Last year at Brunch and Blooms, we presented our first ever Heart of Bethany Award. It's my honor to continue this tradition today and recognize one person who has come alongside us in our work to serve miscarriage moms in truly profound ways. This award is named after my dear friend Bethany, who sent me a bouquet of flowers, and that is what gave me the idea for Evermore Blooms. Her quiet yet intentional gesture changed my life and literally planted the seed for what Evermore has become. Before I share the winner, I need to tell you a little bit about what she's helped us accomplish. In about 5 seconds, she's gonna know she won and she's gonna start crying. So if you're sitting next to her, just give her a tissue, okay? Last October, I did a weird and crazy and humbling thing, and I wrote a book to help families navigate the conversation of miscarriage with siblings. Is this a safe place? I have a confession. When my publisher, Laura, I hope you're watching, hi friend, I love you, when she said, what kind of book do you want to write? She's like, do you want like a chapter novel, or do you want like a children's book? And I was like, well, children's book, that sounds easier. Jokes on me. It was not easier, maybe, but it felt really hard, okay? And Laura did as much as she could from Texas from afar, but there is something to be said about someone who comes and sits at your kitchen table and edits your book with you. She's hiding from me so we don't make eye contact and start crying. She did that for me. Months ago, she sent me an email with a fire in her belly and an outline of an idea, and she said, you need to do this, but I want to help you. And I was like, well, that's the magic H word right there. You're gonna help. And she did. I am so proud to announce that next month, thanks to the help of this incredible woman, we're releasing a resource series to not only help moms who've been through miscarriage, but also those who are supporting her through her miscarriage. Uprooting Miscarriage is a 7-episode series, maybe more, TBD, interviewing guests like medical professionals, pastor, a therapist, and other lost moms. The goal for this resource is to uproot what currently exists surrounding miscarriage, the stigmas, the shame, the lies, and replace it and plant something new, something full of love and hope and truth. I know this resource series will be a gift to those who need it, and the only reason it exists is because of this woman and the gift she is to us. The woman receiving the Heart of Bethany Award this year has abundantly given her time and talents to help us accomplish these incredible projects, and she has been a steady, encouraging, and life-giving friend to me. Would you all please help me honor the 2026 Heart of Bethany Award recipient, Melissa Van de Kieft. Got her, good, guys. Okay, there's a hair, okay. Today is about community, and this community is a result of a story that began 11 years ago. On February 9, 2015, I had my first miscarriage. After days of bleeding, I saw a gray mass on the toilet paper. I gently scooped it into a cup of water, and instantly I realized what I was looking at. The sweetest little seahorse shape, an obvious brain and spine, and 2 little dark gray spots where eyes were beginning to form. I was looking at my sweet baby, Ava Grace. In the days and weeks that followed, I felt crazy for being so sad. I was so early. I shouldn't be so sad. I already had a son to be grateful for. I was young and healthy, and then I was relieved because I was like, I can try again. I'm young and healthy. I was trapped in a spiral of conflicting emotions, convinced that I was the only one who'd ever felt this way. I felt invisible and alone. I stayed there for a couple months until I couldn't hold it anymore. I'm a verbal processor. I couldn't hold it in, and I started to share about my loss. Turns out I was not alone, very far from it. And it turns out women are actually kind of known for feeling a million emotions at once, just on a regular baseline, regular day, let alone As women started to share their stories with me, I started writing down their names on this piece of paper that I've had for 11 years. And the more I shared, the more came. Lydia, 6 babies. Brenda, 1 baby, a boy who died at 14 weeks. Kara, 3 babies, all died around 5 weeks. Val, so many miscarriages she lost count. Missy lost twins at 12 weeks. And Amanda grew up knowing she had a brother that her mom lost to miscarriage. At the time, I didn't know what I was going to do with this list. I just knew that these stories mattered. I didn't realize it then, but the core of this entire community was already starting. When I experienced my second miscarriage, the loss of our 4th baby, Orion Job, in 2018, I had a completely different experience. Because I had been so open about my story, I felt immediately surrounded by support and love, and I was able to skip the weeks and months of feeling alone and invisible. And I wanted that for every miscarriage mom. So in March of 2020, Evermore Blooms began with a simple mission to send flowers to mothers who've experienced miscarriage on the days that are really hard surrounding her loss, like the anniversary of her loss or what would have been her due date. I brought props this year, guys. When we started, I got this map to keep track of all the states that we had sent a bouquet to. On April 9th, 2020, we delivered our first bouquet in South Dakota. Today, 6 years later, there's 1 state left. Y'all know what it is. What is it? Rhode Island. Next month, on April 21st, almost exactly 6 years since we sent our first bouquet, we will deliver our 1,206 bouquet to a mom in Rhode Island. I like to say Evermore is the definition of bittersweet because that sucks. That sucks so bad. And it's so special at the same time. And my story, friends, it's not unique. I'm not special. I'm just a mom. My story is not more powerful or sad or anything to any other story of loss. But Evermore Blooms exists. You're all here today simply because I decided to share my story, and God did the rest. When this work gets at this time, I'm going to invite up the moms who are going to share on our panel today. And as they come up, I just want to share, I fully believe the best way to cultivate a community of support is to honor every story as equal. So as these women come up, I want to remind you, as you listen, if that little voice in your head starts to say, oh, I don't have it so bad. She had it way worse. You tell that voice to shut it, okay? There's no comparing here. The journey through motherhood is hard, no matter what. We've intentionally invited moms today with a variety of stories, and our hope is for this time for you to realize that no matter what you're going through, you are not alone in that. So give us a few minutes to get set, and we're going to chat with these brave mamas. Who wanted the harp to stay on the stage? Whose idea was this? It was mine. It was mine. It's so pretty. Can we put it up for our harpist, Anna? I get it. All right, ladies, come on up here. Yeah, thank you. I'll give you guys this one to share. We'll share the front one. Okay, deep breaths, y'all. Everybody, deep breath. So I would love for you all to share your name and just a little bit about your story or your babies or I would love to share like kind of what kind of loss you've experienced. And then if you did name your babies, you can feel free to share those.
My name is Carol, and I have lost 4 babies. The last one was 40 years ago. And I never had any of this. This is so remarkable. We just lost our babies, and then we went home and went through it by ourselves. Nobody ever talked about it again. So this is amazing.
My name is Leslie. I am Carol's daughter. I am an ugly crier. My story starts on April 29th, 2023. We were 10 weeks and 3 days and went for an ultrasound due to some cramping, some spotting, and saw a baby with a strong heartbeat, very active. So we left feeling reassured that maybe everything was fine. Baby Gerald, whose name actually was a joke to begin with, was born somewhere around 2 a.m. On April 29th. I hoped to have a different layer to our story today. But unfortunately, I am 10 weeks, 6 days pregnant today, but our baby stopped growing at 6 weeks. So we are parents to 2 angel babies who we will see again one day, and one very feisty 21-month-old who showed up at 32 weeks and 2 days. So every one of our stories has been quite special.
Oh, it is, yeah. My name's Megan. I have never had a pregnancy loss, but I have lost many, many baby embryos. And my husband and I have dealt with 8.5 years of infertility, multiple IVFs, IUIs, you name it, we've probably done it. Our story is still being written, and that's what I hope for every day.
My name is Sydney, and I have lost 4 babies. My first 2 losses, I was in a very tumultuous and abusive marriage, and it took until Brunch and Blooms last year for me to really even feel all of it. And then we've lost 2 babies with my current husband, who's wonderful, but he also really encouraged me to be able to feel those feelings and fall apart. But it really took until last year to even think about any of that, because the first 2 sort of felt like another Thursday. And I know that sounds really terrible and just throwaway, but it was another day in a no good, terrible, really bad, not life, but chapter. And it took until last year for me to really even think or feel any of it. So
That's so real. That's a great point. Like, it feels like another Thursday when you, like, what are we supposed to do? Our bodies are going through intense trauma. That's just our brain protecting us. I would love for you to share, all of you, if you're comfortable, just are there parts of your story or things that you've thought that made you feel especially alone or made you feel a little bit crazy? Like, I'm crazy. Like, I lost Ava and I wanted to take pictures of her and I was like, I'm crazy. That's so weird. And my friend drove me home that day and she said, do you think you should take some pictures? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. So with this kind of discussion, I just want to, like, if anyone out here is thinking that one thought I had, that was too much or that was too far, we just want all of you to feel seen that you're not crazy. So let us hear it, ladies. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I think we've all felt a little crazy at times. I know I have. I was sitting outside of TC Referees. It was our second round of IVF. I had found out that none of our embryos made it, and the transfer we did not take either. I was just needed to go pick up food. I was talking to my mom on the phone, and she's like, it's gonna happen for you, and I just exploded. I was like, no, it's not. How do you know that? You don't know that. You don't get to say that to me. And I felt so bad and so crazy. And she's like, you're right. I don't know that. But she just sat there and she let me vent it out. And then I started bawling and then we moved on and we went to our next story. But I just felt so crazy in that moment that one little thing, that one saying made me so upset. And she meant nothing by it, but it was what triggered me in that moment. And so, yeah.
Is there anything that's made you feel like alone in what specifically you're going through? All of it. Maybe anything that made you feel less alone.
Yeah, actually, so same time, I was having Christmas with my family, and we were sitting at a table, and all my sister-in-laws were kind of talking about their kids and school and all the things, and I just, like, I couldn't hear it anymore, and so, like, I got up, and I went upstairs, and I shut my door into my bedroom, and I just started bawling by myself. I had just found out that transfer didn't take, and I felt like all the hope was gone. I didn't know what I was going to do next, and my sister-in-law came in, and she knocked on the door, and she said, nope, you're not going to do this alone. You're not going to cry in your room alone. We're going to go out here. We're going to sit all together, and you're going to tell us about how you're feeling. And that was the most incredible moment, and I was so thankful for her that she saw me get up and walk away, because I didn't want to make a big deal of it, but it was a big deal to me. And we just sat there, and we talked, and we cried together as a group, and that felt incredible.
I think that when I had my first 2 miscarriages is when I felt the most alone, because I was actually alone. I went to the doctor by myself, I found out by myself, and then I went home and was by myself. And in that relationship, he wasn't around, and he didn't come back for 2 weeks. So I was actually just alone. And I didn't know who to tell, and I didn't, my peers, I had children before most of my peers, and so I was really the one in my age group at that time who had been through it. And so I felt like I was kind of pioneering this really scary, really lonely, really awful thing, and I was just by myself.
Well, mine is when I had my second miscarriage. It was right before Christmas, and we were all together as a family, and my sister-in-law was pregnant at the time. And of course, she was excited, and I don't blame her for that, but all we heard about the whole entire day was baby and all the things she was going through, and there I sat, and I was suffering, and nobody cared. So it's tough when you go alone.
I would say the loneliest part for me has been with our first miscarriage and just not being prepared. We didn't have any indication that that was coming, so it was unexpected that early morning, late night. On the flip side of that coin, it was lonely, but it was also peaceful. We got to be at home. Together, the two of us, in the quiet of our home, not bright lights, people in and out of a room. So it was lonely, but it was peaceful. And I wanted to add on to the first one because I forgot. I was reminded of the Bible verse, I think it's Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, and before you were born, I set you apart. So we've chosen to name this baby Jeremiah.
And I want to say that she was at home in peace and quiet until her mom had to go up there because I was bound and determined she wasn't going to be alone.
Your generation, as evermore has grown and I've talked to more and more women, it's like there's this gap. Like it used to be talked about, and then for some reason your generation was like, absolutely not. And now it is again, thank God. And I just have a heart for you and the women in your generation, and I'm just so grateful you're sharing, and I hope it's healing even decades later. Megan, you kind of touched on it, but I would love for the others of you to share. So I think the reason I want to highlight some of these things is when moms feel alone, it's when we hear what it feels like, then we can maybe be more aware and identify if we see it and intervene and go into the room and get them and just be that awareness, right? And so you kind of touched on it when your sister-in-law, yes, when she came in, but I would love for you all to share, like, what are some things people did during your loss or even in your stories right now that you've really, really appreciated?
My most recent miscarriages, I was really, really appreciative that my husband's family was also there. I'm not very close with my side of the family anymore, so when I could go to my mother-in-law and I could fall apart, and I could even go to my brother-in-law and fall apart, that was just like worlds different than the first two times. And I didn't realize how much I did need that to be like, and it felt extra weird because it's not like my first two losses weren't even with my wonderful husband. And I felt bad for feeling that it all sucked and that it all kind of rolled in together. And then I felt a little bit guilty because I felt like my husband now shouldn't have to support me through what happened before. And it was just a really complicated bunch of emotions, but they all let us feel it and really took into consideration that I didn't have anybody before, so I could fall apart with them because they love me in every part of me that had come before that as well. So,
Man, Savannah, he's a good man.
He's
Savannah.
so good.
Shared. But honestly, it's just, yeah, people being there and listening and asking questions and being open to that conversation. So, but I kind of already shared mine.
I was actually fortunate enough to be sent a bloom from Evermore Blooms. To this day, I don't know who sent it, but it meant a lot. I also had a coworker at the job I was at that time remember me and send me flowers on Mother's Day.
I don't really have any wonderful stories because I did basically go through it all by myself. I just did. I think it made me the person that I am today, and it made me be able to reach out to my daughter. I didn't ever want one of my kids to go through this pain, but we now have bonded by her loss.
I would love for you guys to share. Is there, I think, sometimes people look at me and say, you started a nonprofit for your baby, so I'm not doing enough. And I'm like, don't do this. It's a lot of work. No, it's so special. No, it's so great. But I think we give this thing we build up this thing in our head of I'm not doing enough to remember them. I'm not doing enough to honor them. I feel that way all of the time. And it matters, the little small things you do, the big things, it's all matters. And so I'd love for you guys to share if there's any special way that you honor your babies, big or small.
I just think about them every time we go into another IVF. I thank them and I think about them, and then we move on with our next procedure. And that's just how I remember them. And it's every time we take another step or try or get another no, I try to always just remember them.
I feel like I have the wrong answer because I don't. I don't because I feel like I feel them in my heart, and I feel them in every bit of every day. And I see it when I look into the faces of my children that I do have here, Earthside. And I feel like I have the wrong answer because I don't.
There's no wrong answer. This is exactly what I want people to hear. There's no right or wrong way to do this.
And I don't because I'm very emotional. I kind of cry if the wind blows the wrong direction. So I know that for me to keep going and to keep functioning is just to deal with the present. And that is all I can do, day after day after day.
I really don't spend a lot of time thinking about them either. But after I met Chelsea at the Christmas tree thing, it started thinking about the one that I lost 40 years ago. It was a little girl. And when we got home, a few days afterwards, Leslie wanted to know if we could have a new baby. That was really hard. But anyway, they told me they took a picture of my baby. And at the time, I didn't want anything to do with it because I was younger and, it was just one of those things that happened. And I reached out because of this group and asked for that picture, but they couldn't find it. But I did reach out, and that was a healing day for me.
It's not fair to have to go after that. We usually do just like a birthday cake, a small birthday cake or a cupcake. We light a candle, say happy birthday. But kind of again, they're just kind of, in every day. So.
You're doing enough. And I've said this before. If you don't need to talk about your loss, if you don't want to talk about your loss, that's okay. It's really okay. It doesn't make you a bad person, a bad mom. It's all okay. We're just creating space for those of you who want to talk but feel like you
couldn't, because you can, you have permission. But I just want to speak to anyone who's like, I don't do anything, I feel so bad. Don't feel bad, it's okay. This is all good, okay? However you feel is okay. I would love for you guys, if you could give some advice to someone who's gone through something similar, like same kind of similar journey that you've been through, what would you tell her?
First, I would tell her to come to Brunch and Blooms.
Good answer, good answer.
Because I said it twice already, but it took me until last year, really, to feel all of it. And it's specifically last year when we sang Happy Birthday. I don't know, I felt like I was maybe making a scene. I let out the grossest, ugliest sob. and I kind of ruminated in that for the rest of the day, but it really opened me up to being able to feel it and talk about it and think about it. So I would find a group of amazing women like everybody in this room.
I would say I have seen lots and lots of doctors, and if you are in a similar path that I am in, to use your voice. You know your body better than they do, and use it. It's okay to ask questions and make them pause and take a minute so that you can wrap your head around it, because it is a lot. They throw a lot of things at you, and you have to make a lot of decisions in a very quick time. So use your voice, it matters, and you know yourself better.
My advice is just don't do it alone.
I would just say that whatever you're feeling is okay. It's okay to be, destroyed. It's okay to be okay. Like Chelsea's story, this time around is totally different. I feel okay. Partly because we are so blessed to have a handful that keeps us busy every day. Partly because we're more prepared this time. We know what to expect. We know what's coming. And I don't have that question hanging over my head, what if I can't get pregnant? What if, we never have a baby? So it's okay to be okay. It's okay to feel however you feel.
I want to thank you all for being here. This is one of my favorite parts about Brunch and Blooms, because I'm so fortunate to have the platform that I do, that I can share all about my stories, but I want all of you to have this. And so I just thank you guys for taking the time and giving so much of your heart and sharing, and I hope you all feel and see that you're not alone in this. So can we please put it up for these brave ladies for sharing today? Thank you. Okay. So you've heard my story, you've heard their story, and if you don't feel seen yet in your story, I can guarantee there's a woman in this room that can relate. There are women in this room who've had miscarriage after miscarriage and still don't have any living children. Women whose only pregnancy ended in loss, and they've never gotten pregnant since. There are women cradling life within them right now. Some so tiny, maybe they're the only one that knows. Some that they're probably being kicked in the bladder. There are some who have never seen 2 pink lines. There are women who've been told there's nothing wrong with you, just keep trying. There are women who've made the heartbreaking and brave decision to just stop trying. There are women here who are living a beautiful, chaotic life with living children. There are women who are mourning the loss of their babies that they lost decades ago. There are women here with empty nests, just wishing they could go back to the sticky fingers and the dirty diapers. Maybe not dirty diapers. Wow. There are women here who would do anything to take away the pain from their daughter and finally be able to hold a grandchild. There are women here with half their heart on earth watching their children grow and half their heart in heaven, missing the babies waiting for them. Every single story matters, and it's not too late to share yours with someone today. You are safe here. You are seen here. So before you leave today, please don't miss the opportunity to talk to someone and tell them your story. I can promise you, when sharing starts, healing begins. Before we wrap up today, I have a huge favor to ask all of you. If this is your first time here, you might not know that up until this year, Brunch and Blooms was a fundraiser. But this cozy vibe right now, I hated asking for funds. I wanted this for Brunch and Blooms. This was always my dream. Just a gathering of women to feel completely supported and seen and loved. I hope you felt that today. It's been a joy to just welcome you and gather. But the reality is there are a lot more women to care for, a lot more stories that need to be told, and we will work tirelessly to do it, but we need help. So here's the favor. I'm not asking you for money. I cannot believe we're doing this. Jesus help. I would love for you to save the date for November 12th to join us for the first annual Gardeners Gala. Jenny, you ready, girl? So this gala will not only welcome you, this community we know and love, but it will also be opened up to the men in our lives. Lord knows we need to get them talking about their feelings too. Yeah, preach, girl, I know. So it will be a fundraiser, but my hope is that it's also a time for those men to feel seen and recognized, because they deserve it too. You gotta stick to the script, otherwise we'll be here all day long, guys. We picked November for the gala, purely logistical. My husband thinks it's for his birthday. No, it's not. But we gather for Brunch and Blooms in March for a very specific and special reason. We launched in March, and so this gathering celebrates the birthday of our organization and celebrates all God has done. That's the reason for the birthday cake. So pretty. 2 years ago, we started a tradition to also use this event and this cake to celebrate the babies we're missing. The ones who don't get a birthday cake or blow out their candles or open presents. So if you've ever longed to sing happy birthday to your baby, this moment is for you. Elisa is going to start us off on keys, so we're not shy to start singing. Brittany, can you come light the candles? You already knew, girl. So we're going to sing, and I want you to sing. I know it hurts that our babies are not with us. It hurts. But if they were here, we'd be singing happy birthday to them with smiles on our faces and joy in our hearts. So I want you to celebrate them. When it gets to the part where you say the name, please speak your baby's name out loud. If they don't have a name, just say baby. It's okay. Let's sing together, friends. I want you to bottle up this moment. The love and support you feel right now does not have to end when you walk out those doors. In those moments when you feel invisible,
when it feels like no one gets it, that no one remembers your baby, come right back here to this moment and be reminded that your story matters, your baby matters, and you are not alone. This community is here for you today, tomorrow, and evermore. Thanks for being here, friends.
All right, thank you. Now we can get rowdy.